Are you struggling to perform a plank exercise? A lot of times I see people get to planks as a good option for core exercises, but they tend to fatigue out and then they become a little bit too back friendly. You shouldn't feel a ton of pressure or compression or tightness in your lower back when you're doing a plank exercise, because you should be utilizing the rest of the muscles of the core. Not that your back isn't helping, but it shouldn't be dominating the movement. And a lot of times in our bendy athletes or our postpartum females, we see it gets a little bit too back friendly when they fatigue out. So if there's some consistency of when you start to feel it in your back, you're probably letting your spine and your lower back kind of sag a little bit too much. What that looks like is everybody's so paranoid about having their butt sag, right? But we actually want, this is a pretty good position for your body to be in. If you drew a line from my tailbone to my lower neck, it'd be relatively straight. But as people fatigue out, they start to kind of sink their belly button down towards it. It just becomes a little bit too back friendly. Okay, so what you want to do is you can limit the time, but also like adjust your position. You should almost go into like a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt to kind of really recruit the rest of the muscles of the core and the abdomen rather than your back extensors. And that's kind of where it goes wrong in our really bendy females or postpartum athletes or postpartum females, is that they tend to use a little bit too much low back extensors. So they actually kind of drive themselves into extension through there and maybe get a little bit of facet mediated lower back pain where it starts to kind of go out into the periphery, or you have like broadband lower back pain. That's a problem. There's a ton of different ways to train the core. I'd actually recommend you do planks, but then you also get outside of the sagittal plane, which is like this, and kind of get into the frontal and the coronal. So we can do side planks, we can do a bunch of different exercises that involve twisting, pay-loft presses, etc., to kind of train the core outside of the sagittal plane, because especially in the two categories of people that we talked about, postpartum females and really bendy youth athletes, is that it's a sagittal plane problem. You tend to kind of get that sway back, drive a lot of force into extension, but then we can actually kind of get around that by training in the other plane. So give that a try. Let me know if that's you, if you get a little bit too back friendly. Just try to tuck that pelvis underneath of you, kind of maintain a little bit better position, and see if that helps you kind of increase the longevity that you can hold a plank pain-free. Give it a crack.